that he played. But he never really panned out. Same thing with Jeff Peterson, but still a good draft regardless.
Yeah, definitely. For a first draft as being the general manager, that's definitely a good introduction point. So
Yeah.
let's go into the rest of 2014 after the draft. So he signed free agent at that point, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. So we all know Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. He was with the Flyers for a little bit. He was kind of a fan favorite until he got selected in the expansion draft to the Vegas Golden Knights. So that was one of the first moves Hextall made for signing wise. And then he extended Kimmo Timonen for a year at 1 year, $2.75 million. And then he also extended Braden Shen 2 years at 2.5. So a couple of signings right there. But then we get into some of the trades in 2014. So on June 23rd, 2014, Ron Hextall traded Scott Hartnell for R.J. Umberger and a fourth-round pick that was later traded to Los Angeles. And then that pick eventually turned it into Mikhail Vorobiev later down the line. So we all know, you, Chris, as well, and also every Flyers fan at this point was wondering, why the hell was Ron Hextall trading away Scott Hartnell for R.J. Umberger? And we all know what happened after that. Scott Hartnell had a 60-point season, 60-plus point season with the Columbus Blue Jackets that season, while R.J. Umberger really didn't do anything with the Flyers. And Chris, I know you expressed your anger, so why don't you express your anger with this trade?
God. I remember this very vividly, sitting in my grandmom's living room, watching 6 ABC News with my dad. And we're sitting there thinking to ourselves, why? Like, at the time, the only thing that I can think of now is Hartnell's contract. And Umberger's contract was relatively the exact same thing. So that makes absolutely no sense as well.
I think that was the main reason because of Hartnell's age at that point and also his contract. But then, you also think that, oh my God, Hartnell had an incredible season with Columbus the next year.
That's why it makes me think, why? He goes and puts up 60 points. He had 28 goals. It's just mind-boggling to me. He had to be tanking that season. I think what it was that he wanted to tank, and the upper management didn't want him to.
That was a definite yes. Ed Snyder at that point, he would never accept the tank. He always wanted his team to be somewhere in the mix. They were always in the playoffs. They were signing these big name free agents, and he was going to let Hextall do his thing, but he didn't want Hextall to tank. So Hextall had to go, I guess, sort of into a plan B, which was I wouldn't say a rebuild, but a retool, basically, I would say, yeah. So that was one of the first big moves of the quote-unquote retool of the Philadelphia Flyers in the Ron Hextall era. And then the next trade that Hextall made was on July 2nd. This is a very mini trade. He traded Ty McGinn for a third-round pick, and that third-round